Are you tired of social distancing? Tired of the lockdowns? Do you find yourself wishing things would just go back to normal like they were in 2019, back when we were all just regular debt slaves to the central banks? Well, then you might just be a psychopath. That's right, according to a brand new peer-reviewed study published on May 31st, 2020, people who ignore the new normal protocols, such as social distancing, display certain antagonistic personality traits. Luckily, these traits have been identified, and they are called the dark triad. The three traits in this so-called dark triad are: number one, narcissism, which is defined as selfishness, involving a sense of entitlement, a lack of empathy, and a need for admiration. Dark triad trait number two is Machiavellianism, which is defined in the field of personal psychology as a psychological trait centered on interpersonal manipulation, unemotional coldness, and indifference to morality. And finally, dark triad trait number three, psychopathy, which is traditionally a personality disorder characterized by persistent antisocial behavior, impaired empathy and remorse, and bold, disinhibited, and egotistical traits commonly associated with the term psychopath, which is by definition a dangerous chronic mental health disorder. Now, I'm not kidding. This is not a satirical video. I wish it was. The study used Amazon's Mechanical Turk to survey 502 U.S. adults between March 20 and March 23rd, 2020. Now, the online survey asked participants how often they complied with health recommendations, again, recommendations on preventing the spread of the coronavirus, if they plan to do so, and how they would behave if and when they became infected. Now, the survey also included several assessments of personality, and from this, they conclude that those who intentionally disobeyed social distancing were possibly psychopaths, or at least portrayed traits consistent with psychopaths at this point. Now, this article, which is talking about the study, even compared these non-social distancing psychos to the people who knowingly have HIV or STDs and do not disclose this with their sexual partners and deliberately place their partners at risk. Okay? Unbelievable. So, if you are deemed to have a dangerous mental health condition like being a freaking psychopath, I wonder what kind of impact this could potentially have on your rights and civil liberties, like gun ownership, for example. Surely everyone would agree that psychopaths shouldn't be allowed to own guns, right? Well, I guess that all depends on who is calling who the psychopath now, doesn't it? But don't worry, I'm sure that this is all probably nothing, and it will be scientifically figured out and determined and implemented just the same way that social distancing was, right? Now, you must maintain a 2-meter distance from others while wearing a mask, unless you are participating in a Black Lives Matter protest, rioting, or looting. All other forms of protest, including protesting lockdowns and other forms of civil disobedience, are strictly prohibited, right? Otherwise, you may be a narcissistic, Machiavellian psychopath, which poses a dangerous threat to the greater good of society, right? In my opinion, we are fast approaching a time when opposing the establishment and questioning the government will be considered a mental disorder. But don't worry, the World Economic Forum has a solution for that, and it's called the Fourth Industrial Revolution. I'll leave links below. Thanks for watching.